You will laugh. You will love it. Sit back and relax. This is the Whatchamacallit Show.
Please welcome the one and only Cajun.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Whatchamacallit Show. It's been quite a while since we got back into this. Last week we interviewed a badass mom. Her name was Anna. So as you can see, we got a little bit of changes into the set. So as you can see, we have our new backdrops we've added. So that's pretty good. We also went to go back a little because we just didn't want to hear the wind while we were filming. And the weather has changed. For some reason, it's been getting cold, and spring is about to come. To be honest, we had to go through warm weather in the wintertime, and now we have cold weather in the spring. So we start the spring with the cold front, I guess. So we are in great time to interview another person, so we just cannot wait for that. So, one more thing. As you can see, my attire changed. Yep, cold weather, so there's a reason. All right, so our interviewee today is a really cool interviewee. He is going to be sitting over here like usual. He is a chef. Has been working on that for like 7 years. So we're gonna just introduce him. So please welcome Chef Cody.
Good. And you?
Decent.
That's good.
All right. So on my records, it says that you are a chef,
That's
and
correct.
you consider yourself Chef Cody.
That is correct.
Yep. So what is your experience as being a chef?
My experience as being a chef has been my past 8 years within the culinary field. I am professionally trained in classical Italian, Spanish, and French cuisine. I've been through school for it, as well as I've worked through a number of different restaurants and worked my way up through the ranks, starting from the bottom and then worked my way up to the top.
That's great. What kind of pastries or whatever do you make? Like, what kind of meals?
So I specify in doing mostly Cajun and Creole food. That's where most of my culinary background comes from, is where both of my parents tend to cook most of their foods from as well.
It's nice. So, from what I've heard, you are really good at the cooking.
Sure.
And I've seen you cook an American burger one time for a engagement party.
Yes.
Yep. So I don't know why I still remember it, but it just came into my mind. Just had to bring it up.
Well, it's always just about serving whatever the customer or whatever your guest wants the most. And at the end of the day, it's always putting their needs ahead of yours. Like, that's what makes you a good chef, is, just constantly catering to the needs of others.
Makes sense. So I have a list of questions. There are 10 in total. So some of these questions you might not expect for it to be asked, so I made these 10 questions for you to answer, so
All right.
I want to see what you say. How do you trick health inspectors?
How do we trick health inspectors? So there's not so much a way that you can trick a health inspector. Let's say we could basically put Band-Aids on things that need to really be fixed. So just fixed long enough to where we don't get written up for it. Or we just bring the health inspector in, and before they finish writing their score or something, we say, hey, whatever you'd like off of this menu right here, please. They're like, feel free to order it. We'll take care of it.
I say we put Band-Aids on the food.
Put Band-Aids on the food.
Yes.
Okay, well then I might get written up for that one though.
All right, second question. Do you wash your hands every time you return from the toilet?
Every single time.
Okay, it's just a made-up question. I just had to. If you would ever forget to wash your hands, when would that be?
Probably in the middle of service, whenever it's really busy, and say if I have like touched a garnish, like put some parsley or some greens on top just to finish the dish before I send it out. Sometimes I will have touched that one thing and sprinkle it on top and then put it out, and then immediately after you're supposed to put on fresh gloves or wash your hands. And sometimes if you've got 20 tickets in front of you, then you don't really have a whole lot of time. So we're always told to sing happy birthday while we wash our hands because it lasts for 20, it lasts for 20 seconds. So if we don't have that much time, then you just hot water 5 seconds and then you go back to work.
Okay, I've known that happy birthday thing since coronavirus. All right, so number 3. Do you scream in your private life as much as you do in the kitchen?
Absolutely. I feel it's good to scream. I think that screaming and crying as much as possible is a great way to release anger and to release negative feelings that you've had about the day. I think that a lot of culinarians and professional chefs alike would agree. Most of us end up finding ourselves at one point in the walk-in fridge or the walk-in freezer, punching a box of frozen steaks that just needed to get out so that we can finish our service.
And then would you scream if you cut yourself?
That's usually one instance where we don't scream. No, it's usually followed up by a darn or insert profanity here. Yeah. So, and most cooks don't even bother about it, no matter how bad the cut actually is. Most of them are just like, oh darn it, and then they go over and they tape their finger up and then they go right back to work.
Oh, all right. Okay, this, I probably failed this one. Do you ever eat the food you're making in the kitchen?
Occasionally, but we don't always eat it the same way that we serve it to the customers. So most of the time, you hear all these trends about like the secret menu options and stuff like that. Well, there's not really a whole lot of secret menu options. There's just things that you can't order because only the cooks know how to make it. So, for instance, it could be like, instead of us selling you a double cheeseburger at a restaurant or something like that, we're gonna make a double cheeseburger, but we're gonna use, $30 cheese, and we're gonna use like ground up ribeye in it and everything. And we're gonna use the most expensive ingredients just to make a burger for ourselves because we're not usually the ones paying for it. The restaurant pays for it. So at the end of the day, we have our own little secret menu.
I remember eating in the kitchen at Genghis Grill when I was ordering my food.
Yeah,
Yep.
all the time.
It's easy to do it.
It is very easy to do it. When I worked at the Grand Lux Cafe, and very glad that they're closed now. When I would go into the walk-in after working like a 10-hour shift, I would be extremely tired and hungry, so I would go in and I would start filling my pockets up with pasta. And then as I would cut vegetables or whatever, I would reach into my pocket and I would eat spaghetti out of my pocket because I was so hungry.
All right. How do you punish a customer who orders a 3-course meal 15 minutes before closing?
So, as much as we want to punish the customer, we don't. We suck it up. We get them their food as fast as humanly possible. However, there are there are little tricks that we do to get them in and out of the restaurant as fast as humanly possible. So they order a 3-course dinner, say it's just a couple of two entrees and an appetizer, something like that. We get them their food out super fast. I mean, faster than anybody else is getting their food at that time. And at the same time that we bring their food out, we go ahead and bring the check out. So that way they know food's in front of them, check's in front of them. We want them to finish up, pay, and leave. Now, if they're what we like to call last holes, so combination of the last customer and the asshole. So with these people, what we will usually do is we will go up and we will take their plates off of their tables. Even if they haven't said that they were finished, we will do that. We will start turning lights off in the restaurant. We will turn the music off. That's usually our one final chance that we have to tell them, all right, it's time for you to get out. So,
and then do all and leave.
Yes, actually. It surprisingly, and one of our favorite things to do is we play really bad music on the radio. So we like to play like music that's in like foreign languages and stuff like that. That a lot of our certain like customers can't really understand, and that tends to annoy them for some reason. So we'll either play that or we'll play some really loud heavy metal or something. And and that usually gets them to go pretty quick, and they still tip really well.
All right. Okay, number 6. How often do you cook with ready-made products?
More often than you think. As chefs, we work really long hours, and we work with some very fine ingredients. We also work with a lot of raw ingredients, so from scratch. So it takes a lot of time to turn scratch ingredients into a ready-made product. So when we get home at the end of the day, we don't necessarily have time to do that same scratch cookery that we've been doing all day at work. So we will more than likely buy, we keep frozen dinners in our fridge, like we keep sandwich stuff laying around all the time. We keep pasta in the fridge at all time. We've always got easy, ready to go foods be made in 20 minutes or less.
All right. Do you hate restaurant critics?
Yes and no. I don't like the idea of a restaurant critic that only goes to attempt to shut down restaurants, because there are restaurant critics that carry so much of an ego that people will only listen to what they say because they're afraid of them. And that's not a true restaurant critic. A restaurant critic is somebody that can offer constructive feedback. So if they tell you, I didn't like this dish, it was terrible. Now, if you can tell me that, that's terrible because I don't want to listen to it. But if you can give me feedback and tell me what was wrong with the dish and what do you think can be improved on the dish, then we can move forward from there, and then I can take your constructive criticism a little bit more respectively.
All right. Of the dishes you prepare, which one would you never eat yourself?
Ooh. Which one would I never eat myself? That's a really hard question, and that kind of goes against my creed. Is I wouldn't serve anything that I wouldn't eat myself. So I can't really say that there wouldn't be something that I wouldn't eat. And trust me, I'm Cajun, so I've eaten a lot of different things that people probably wouldn't have eaten.
So if you had to pick one food that you make, which one would it be?
Like as far as my favorite?
Yeah, like which one would you consider your least?
My least favorite.
Least favorite.
Oh, my least favorite. Probably anything to do with salads.
Oh.
Yeah. I hate making salad.
Lettuce, fruit, whatever.
If I wanted to eat a bowl of leaves, I'd go rake my yard.
Alright, okay. Are you jealous of celebrity chefs?
Some of them. I do get jealous, of course, like from time to time. There's certain chefs that I think am more envious of others. Gordon Ramsay, for sure, the first word that comes to mind. I think a lot of people see him as this major successful chef, and he really is. He's not just a celebrity, because if you look back into his career 30 plus years ago when he was, your age, this is when he was just starting to get into the industry, and he was finally learning how to cook, but he really had to rise up. So it took a long time for him to get to where he was today. Whereas a lot of other celebrity chefs, I'm jealous because they're making money off of dishes that are so simple that almost anybody could make them. And they're making millions of dollars. I'm calling you out, Ray Drummond, and Rachel Ray, all of you. But yes, these are the types of celebrity chefs that have no business being in this industry. They may have earned their way where they're at now, but at the end of the day, they're just another glorified talk show cook,
All right, and the last question: how do you get revenge on annoying customers?
How do we get revenge? So, I'll tell you, I've never purposely dropped somebody's food. I don't do that. I'm above that. However, whenever we have somebody that comes in and says, I want this dish and I want it spicy, and they're like, no, seriously, make it spicy. I will go out of my way to find the hottest thing in the entire restaurant and cover their food in it.
Sriracha hot sauce.
We're talking hotter than sriracha hot sauce.
All right.
We're talking fermented Carolina Reapers.
Oh.
Just straight hot peppers, and just pour a bunch of them on top of it and let them eat into it. And at the end of the day, they still have to pay for it. And that's the ultimate revenge.
Yep.
Regardless if they take 1 bite or 2 bites, then they still have to pay for it. I'm not at a loss, and it's funny for me to watch because this guy's head is on fire. So
looks like what he's eating is really spicy.
Exactly.
And speaking of spicy, we got a spicy cool game that we're gonna play.
Sweet.
So this game is a little weird, but we're gonna play spicy and hot questions.
Woo!
So we got another interesting game, which is called Spicy and Hot Questions. So here's how the game's going to work.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question, and you're gonna have a couple seconds to answer it. And once after you answer it, you press the button, and then you give me a chance to answer the same thing.
Okay.
And whoever answers the questions the quickest wins.
Gotcha.
All right, so that should be pretty easy, but watch out for those questions. There's 12 of them. I wish I wasn't scared too.
Poop with the door open.
Going on a ropes course. All right. When you say your answer, you say your answer, then you press the button.
Say the answer, then push the button.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What is something no one knows about you?
I am still scared of the dark.
Crush identities. What is something you hate that everyone else loves?
Taylor Swift.
I don't know. Okay, what was the last thing your friend texted you?
Hi.
I dream about all the Among Us crew coming to Young Adults Life group. Oh, I don't know why my bangs don't even work. All right. Who's your favorite Kardashian and why?
Kim, biggest butt.
What?
It's too spicy.
It broke. Okay, let's just turn it. All right,
There we go.
All right, so go.
Kim Kardashian, biggest butt.
Kim Kardashian, cool as butt. What was the last lie you told?
I'm on my way home.
I'm gonna run a red light. What is your worst nickname?
Codex.
Cosine Ozzy. What was the most surprising thing you did to make money for?
Uber.
Nothing. What is the biggest secret you keep from your spouse?
Pass.
Your latest past crush. Okay, I just had to bring that up. Okay. What was the most painful thing you ever waxed?
My butt.
My face. Okay, I feel like you're winning on this. I cannot really think better than you. All right, tell us 3 interesting things we'd find in your house.
3 interesting things you'd find in my house.
Yep.
Let's see. My hookah, my giant box of dog toys, and my inhaler.
A movie theater, a extra floor on the attic, and a TV that has all the stuff you need, like okay. I am so bad at this. Who was your celebrity crush growing up?
Oh man, Jennifer Connelly.
Mackenzie Ziegler. All right, and that's all.
That's all.
I'm going to have to declare that you have won because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to say for some of these things. So there's obvious. Oh, look, and let's just watch the paper fly away. All right, never mind. We're going to go back into the table and we're going to get through our closing remarks. Interesting gameplay, and yet your water is out.
Yes. I was thoroughly exhausted during that last round.
I never even seen you drink it.
It was that quick. You ought to see how chefs drink water in restaurants.
Like this?
You never see it. Whoa! Go, man, go.
I got the chair wet. Oh man, I just spilled in the... That's okay, we'll just wipe it off after we finish. So with you being a professional chef, I'd say you come back here and you start giving us some kind of cooking show because
Yeah, I would love to.
yeah, we should definitely see it. So tune in for a future episode where Chef Cody will return and he will start a cooking show for y'all, and it'll most likely be Cajun. So excited for that. Well, it was good having you.
It was great having you as well.
All right, so from outside of the Whatchamacallit Show, I am Kason. Good night.
Woo!
Come on.